All right, so Clarence Clemons, you met him in the '80s, is that correct?
Yes, I met Clarence Clemons in 1987. I was plainclothes security at Tower Records in New York City, and he was doing a signing for one of his solo albums. And man, he was there like 3.5 hours, and at the end of it, he still like talked to me for a good like 20 minutes. He's a really nice guy. I'd only been in New York for about 3 years, and I was struggling around looking for gigs and everything. And he's really inspirational. Like, hang in there, man. You only been here 3 years. Keep it going and stuff like that. And like, I couldn't believe how kind he was to me after such a long day of just signing all everything. And he just told me, no, let's take a picture. And yeah, he was really nice guy.
So I guess what was one of the things he had said to you that kind of stands out from your brief meeting with him?
Well, I told him that I've been listening to him like my entire life and everything, and then like I've said that to a couple of other saxophone players too, and they're always like, "Come on, I'm not that old. Don't do that to me. You're aging me." So he's kind of joking around about that, and then I just told him how I appreciate just him being like the one horn guy and a really loud rock band, and I've been like a solo horn player in a lot of like rock and funk bands and everything, and I always thought that I was trying to like carry on like in Clarence Clemons like footsteps or whatever. So something he told me at that instant is just say keep practicing, keep hanging in here. You only been in New York for 3 years. Takes a while to get something going, and it did, and I did get something going there. So so it's
That's awesome. And
yeah.
what like I don't know. What do you think? What does he mean for the music industry and for for sax players? What is his? Some people call him a pioneer. How do
Oh
you?
man, he had such a big, huge, big tenor sound and like a rock band, and then that kind of big sound you hear a lot in jazz or maybe like Dexter Gordon, some of these guys with these big, just ballsy like tenor sound, and he brought it to like the like to the rock world and was just totally stood out in that band. You could always hear him, just the tone of his horn. So I guess for sax players, just knowing you can have that ballsy of a tone.
So he and now that he's passed, what do you think? Like, what will be his lasting legacies? Like
Well, it's like, Bruce Springsteen is such an amazing singer songwriter. I mean, they just released 80 songs that didn't make one record. So they recorded like 90 songs for one record and only 10 songs made it. And now, like 30 years later, they release like all those songs. So I think there's probably so much music of Bruce Springsteen's that Clarence is on, and then I think people might just start really listening to like all the stuff he did now that like Bruce Springsteen, like I said, released all this music and everything. So I'm sure there's just tons of tracks that I haven't even heard because I haven't bought that new one. I think it was like 60 songs or something from one album. It's crazy. So I don't know, just the quality of his work and just his sound.
okay, so and I personally don't know a lot about Clarence Clemens. How old was he when he passed?
Claire, he was 69.
69.
Yeah.
And did he? Do you know what do you know about his actual death?
All I know, and I just got this from like TV, and I think I saw it on CTV actually. They said that he had suffered a stroke like a couple years ago or something. So maybe he's like been ailing for a little bit, but he totally played in the Super Bowl when they played the Super Bowl like 3 years ago. So he must have had a stroke. I don't know if he had a stroke before or after the Super Bowl or whatever, but he had a stroke.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, so a lot of musicians when they die, they're somewhat more. There's more attention brought to them. What do you think? Clarence Clemens meant to the music industry before, and how will it continue now that he's passed?
Hopefully, that he's passed, there'll be way more bands that want to hire tenor saxophone players. That's what I dream of, and every other tenor saxophone player dreams. I was like, yeah, put us in your band. We like rock music. It doesn't have to be just like blues or jazz or whatever. So that legacy he brings, and what else? What was the other part of that question?
Well, yeah, just his impact on the music industry before his death, and then how it will continue after his death.
Well, like I say, just that big, huge tenor sound, and then when you just like mix with like the E Street, it's just that sound of Bruce Springsteen's band. It was so classic. You could just hear it and know it's like the Springsteen band. So I don't know. I think he bought that too, and then like like the whole thing of like like black people like rock music. It's not just like we that we don't like rock music or something. So that's not such a big deal now. But like 20, 30 years ago, there wasn't that many like black dudes like playing rock music. Hendrix. Or whatever,
Yeah.
So there wasn't like very many people. So like to have a tenor player and like the premier like rock band, it's very awesome.
That's excellent. Maybe actually now, hold on a second. Maybe I can get you to do maybe one of his songs. I'm sure you know a few of his songs.